Hello everyone, this is Mikey Garcia.
Yo, it's your boy, the odd guy himself, Malik King Scott.
Hi, I'm Charlie Edwards.
This is Fast Eddie Chambers, and you're listening to the BoxHard Podcast with my main man, Joey Coastman.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 25 of the BoxHard Podcast. I'm your host, Joey Coastman. I'm joined, as always, by Ayaz Sumra. Ayaz, how you doing?
I'm good, Joey. How are you?
Very good, very good. We're going to waste no time. We're going to get straight into part one. We're going to start over in Philadelphia. This took place last Friday. Jesse Hart topped that bill. He went into this fight 19-0. He was looking to move to 20-0, of course. It was for the WBO, NABO super middleweight title and the USBA super middleweight title. These are, titles in that continent that you can win. Hart was actually down in round 10. He's a prospect, of course, and he managed to win unanimously after 10 rounds. So Jesse Hart now 20-0 with 16 of those wins by knockout. Also down that bill, we had him on our show a few weeks back, Mike Yes Indeed Reed, really nice fella. He moved to 18-0. It was only a 6-rounder, but he won unanimously after 6. So he now moves to 18-0, a real prospect to keep your eyes on. Moving over now to Massachusetts. Stephen Ormond was over there. He fought Marcos Jimenez, which was actually a tough little fight. It was for the vacant IBF Intercontinental lightweight title. Stephen Ormond picked up the win, so he now moves to 21-2. He won unanimously after 10 rounds. Moving over to Texas, top of the bill over there, Juan Diaz made his return to the ring. He moved to 41-4 in his 45th professional contest. He actually picked up the TKO in round 9, and he fought a guy who was no mug in Fernando Garcia, who had a record of 30 wins, 7 losses and 2 draws going into that fight. So Juan Diaz back with a bang, literally. Moving down that bill, we saw the return of Mike Mile High Alvarado. He looked very disappointing when he fought Brandon Rios last time out, and he come back with a bang. He picked up the KO in round 3 over Saul Corral. So Mike Alvarado now 35 professional wins and 4 losses. Apparently, I didn't actually see the fight, but apparently it wasn't a great fight. He didn't look very good in those rounds, Mike Alvarado, but nonetheless he moves to 35-4 with a 3rd round KO. So he's back in the picture, no doubt. Moving over to Sunday now. It went under the radar. It must have been maybe announced late. I wasn't sure. I personally thought that Roy Jones Jr. had retired after losing to Enzo Maccarinelli, but no, he was back in his 72nd professional fight, which is absolutely incredible. So he was out there fighting Vyron Phillips, who was actually a debutant, hadn't even had a fight. So his first fight, can you imagine what it would be like facing someone like Roy Jones Jr. on your debut? I know he's not the Roy Jones Jr. of old times, but of course, someone who's that experienced is absolutely incredible. And the debutant stepped up and got TKO'd in the 2nd round. So Roy Jones Jr. now 63 wins and 9 losses. Absolutely incredible. Ayaz, what do you think about Roy Jones Jr. boxing on after losing to Enzo Maccarinelli? Do you think, as well as many other people think, that he should hang the gloves up now?
Yeah, I reckon he should hang the gloves up now. To tell you one thing, Roy Jones Jr. is a legend now in the sport. Obviously, he's had his prime time, but now I think it's time for him to hang up the gloves.
Yeah, me too. There's an old saying, and Father Time is unbeaten. It's true. We've seen him lose to people he would have never lost to in his heyday. No disrespect to anyone that I'm talking about that he may have lost to, but it's just, even Enzo Maccarinelli said it himself, very honestly of him to come on the show and say, look, I would not be this confident if I fought you a few years back. I know I'm going to do the business, and so he did prevail. So anyway, that's really it for the review side of things. There wasn't too much to go over. Of course, there wasn't that many fights last weekend, but believe me, in the preview side of things, there really is a lot to discuss. Just before we bring on our first guest, Ayaz, I believe you have some news for us.
Cruiserweight boxer Ola Afolabi has retired from boxing.
Oh yeah, amazing. I mean, he was very, very unlucky to be honest. He was almost like half the time we forgot he was British. He was always out in different countries trying to do his best. Very, very unlucky. Ola Afolabi fought Marco Huck on 4 occasions. Of course, most recently he lost to Marco Huck. On those 4 occasions, he lost 3 and drew 1. So he came close a couple of times, but ultimately it just couldn't. He just couldn't win that world title. So very unlucky and very sad to see him retire from the sport. I think he missed out on a lot of domestic clashes. To be honest, I think he done things. I mean, I'm no promoter or anything like that, but I believe he done things a little bit different. If he stayed over here and built his profile over here, he could have been involved in some top-notch fights. Is there any other news you got for us, Ayaz?
Yes, it has been reported that illegal substance has been found in Lucas Brown's system when he was tested after beating Ruslan Shagayev for the WBA world title.
Wow, yeah, massive news. Again, I'm not one to bring any contrast onto any dodginess or any dark tactics, but of course, this test was taken over in Chechnya. We know that the Chechnya hero really is Ruslan Shagayev, and everybody in the whole building, including the officials, were pulling for Shagayev to win this fight. So I don't really want to throw anything on there, but we know what things can be like in boxing, and we hope that it's all resolved. Brown is saying that there's no way he took anything like that. Ricky Hatton, of course, is defending him. We'll have to just wait and see what happens, and hopefully the right outcome will happen of this, and we'll see the right thing done and the right decision made. Okay, that's really it for part one. We're now going to bring on our first guest. Okay, now it's time for our first guest on this week's show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a man on a mission to get his 40th career win and to capture the WBA world title. He's got a very tough task ahead of him, and we'll get to that momentarily. It's, of course, our very own sole British member of TMT. It's Ashley Theophane. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thanks very much.
No worries. My pleasure. My pleasure. Now, of course, you're fighting on April Fool's Day, the 1st of April, against Adrien Broner. How confident are you going into this fight? And is this your toughest fight of your career, in your opinion, Ashley?
I believe I'm going to win. I've had a great training camp. I've been sparring with some great young American fighters. And I believe, I can win. I believe I will win. I've done everything. Camp has just been perfect. I've done everything I could possibly do. It's the last week of camp that the hard work is done already. So now it's just basically time to just make weight and just count down the days. So I believe I could believe I can win. It's just about doing it on the night. So and on this being my hardest fight on paper, it is. He's 26 years old. He's a 4-weight world champ. So that is remarkable in itself. But, when he beat Paulie, that was a split decision. And many people thought that Paulie won. And I believe that Paulie won that fight. And then he lost to Sean and to Marcus Maidana. He's had tough fights with Emmanuel Taylor. And, other fighters, so he's not very beatable. He's a very good fighter at the same time.
Absolutely. Now, I heard you just touch on you've been sparring some young Americans. Is it anyone we know, if you're able to say so? Because I know that rumour has it at the moment Floyd is nowhere near a gym, but surely he'd be someone it'd be really good to get rounds in. Of course, people are always comparing the two styles. Of course, he doesn't do the style as well as Floyd.
Yeah, I don't. The only thing they have in common is the shoulder rolls, and that's the only thing that they do the same. I've sparred with Floyd a handful of times, hence I got this fight. So I don't need to prepare with Floyd to get ready for AB. I've been sparring. I don't want to say the names, but these are some young undefeated fighters who we could be hearing from in 2 to 3 years' time. As like the stars of the sport. They're very good. They got skills and they're very fast. So I've been sparring with guys that are 80 age or younger, like who are fresh. So the age thing won't be an issue. But the whole reason why I've got this fight is because Floyd Floyd believes I can win, so I don't need to spar with Floyd to prepare for a because it's like they're totally different styles. Like they like to say that AB is like Floyd, but he's not. The only thing they do the same is the shoulder roll, and even that, like AB don't do it correctly. So I know Floyd has been watching some of my sparring from Miami because he's got cameras in the gym, so I know he's been watching and he's giving me some advice and some comments and some of the sparring, so he knows I'm working.
Absolutely. Now, I know you won't be giving away the game plan, obviously, but are you perhaps going to take some leaves out of Maidana and Porter, as you mentioned, their books? Because we've seen Broner struggle when people are in his face, putting pressure on him and stalking him down.
Yeah, you can, you have to go with the way that he's lost twice, which is with Marcus and with Sean. But at the same time, as I said, you got Paulie as well, who isn't very fast. Who isn't very strong. He's not a power puncher, but he outworked him. So to me, you can be like on him as well. You could push him back. He doesn't like that, but he's easy to outwork because he only throws 400 to 500 punches a fight. So he's easy to be outworked. But we have the Poncelia Leon fight as well that many thought he lost, and then you have the Man Rotate fight, which he pushed him very hard for a few rounds. So I've been watching a few of his fights, and he's got hard. Even with the Marcus Maidana fight where he got dropped twice, I thought up until round 8, I still thought it was a very close fight because he was standing there and he fought him. So for me, to win, I have to give my all. I have to fight the fight of my career. But I believe in my team. The last 3 times I sparred, I've done 12 rounds, and the performances I put in the gym, as long as I can translate that to fighting against the man himself, I believe I believe it'll be different. See, that's what I'm saying. It's always different to look at a man like from outside the ring, but when you're in there with him, it's different. So I've been doing it against my sparring partners, what I have to do on fight night, and if I could do that on fight night, apply the pressure, the punch output, I believe I'll just be too much from on fight night. So yeah, we've got the game plan here. It's just to do it when it counts.
Of course, you're fighting for the WBA world title. How much would it mean to you to join the ever-growing list of British world champions at the moment?
That would be cool. It'd be great to win the world title because that's every fighter's dream goal to do that. Like when you turn professional, you want to be a world champ. I've got this far. No one other than myself would have believed that I would be here. It took 10 years to get a promoter to back me. I read a lot where a lot of boxing reporters or boxing fans say that I don't deserve this world title shot. I didn't see them moaning when I was world number 4 and I couldn't get no world title shot because I didn't have a promoter. So it's easy for them to say that I don't deserve it now, but I deserved the world title shot like 5 years ago, but I never got it. I didn't see them crying about it then. So it'd be great to be world champ. It would be good, to be another British world champ as well, and even more so, I will throw it out there that I have the utmost respect for these fighters, these world champions. Tyson Fury's one, like Kell Brooks, Carl Frampton, these British world champs who they've gone abroad and defended the title or won the title. You got Bizier as well, like what I'm saying, like these are real fighters and warriors who are not afraid to go abroad. And it's easy to stay at home and be a champ, but to go abroad and to do that and defend it and win it, that's something special. So a shout out to those world champs that go across the world and they take on the best, because that's hard to do.
Of course, of course. Now, for those that may not know the story, just in a nutshell, how did the relationship with Floyd Mayweather come about?
It was when I was British champion. I used to do my training camps in New York, and I was supposed to have a camp in New York for 8 weeks. I just wanted to change. I'm gonna go out the Poconos Mountains, and then I saw that Floyd was starting camp for Cotto, so I just thought to come out to Vegas for 2 weeks to do camp in his gym. Came out here, and the first day he asked me who I was. I said I was British champion. He said, "Oh, we might have to spar, see if I'm any good." I was like, "Yeah, that'll be cool. I'll be here for two weeks." We never sparred, but I got to watch him train and spar, and that was cool. And then I went away for a year. I wasn't British champ no more, and I came back to try to get on his team. And then the first day I got back, he remembered me, said, "Oh, the London guy's back." And then that was further Guerrero camp, and I was just, just training, going out, running with him, watching spar. And then he asked me why I didn't have a promoter. I just said no one had really given for me the opportunity like before. I'd always been the opponent, and I just think he knows how hard the boxing game is. You got to remember, he had his dad and he had two uncles. So he knows that it's it's not easy to have no O. Like majority of fighters lose, and he knew I didn't have a promoter, and he just said, I want to help you. I believe in you, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? And we're here now.
Yeah, because everybody knows about his relationship with Adrien Broner. I'm not sure what things are like between them two at the moment, but this is going to really be the first time he'd be rooting for someone other than Broner. He actually wants Broner to lose this fight, of course.
Yeah, well, I'm part of his team, his fighters. He wants his fighters to do well with Badu, with Bizier, with Mick. He got them world title shots. They won them. And they were big underdogs as well. When Badu fought for the world title, a lot of boxing fans and reporters were like, "Why is he fighting for a world title? He just got knocked out." And then now they're like, "Oh, he's a great fighter." So Floyd, as he likes to help the underdogs. And he just wants. He's got 20 fighters now. I mean, he just wants to help the next generation of fighters like myself who never had no opportunities, to get us off. At the end of the day, that's what he said to me like a month ago. I've got you the world title shot. Now it's up to you to go and get the win. You know what I'm saying? So, so he's a cool guy.
Of course, he's 49-0. Everybody wants to know if he's going to be coming back or not. I know that's probably, really it's up to him. It's ultimately his decision. What's it like around the gym? What's the vibe in the gym? Do people think he's going to be back? Do people think he's going to he's hung him up for good now, or what?
Like some fighters believe he'll come back and some think he won't. At the end of the day, I ain't sure, because he seems to be having fun. He's enjoying himself. At the end of the day, as he said, he's 39 years old. Like, he's 49 and all. Like, we have to retire at some point. Like, he's done what he's done. Like you can't box forever. He said he brings in like $1 million a month, whatever it is. So he doesn't need money. Like, he's worth like 9 figures than that. So all boxers, they have to retire, and a lot of former world champs who made a lot of money, they ended up broke. He seems to be content. He seems to be happy, and now it's retire. I would like him to come back for one more to do the 50, but Yeah, like right now he doesn't seem that bothered about like entering a boxing ring and being real. That's what I'm saying. I be training and it's hard. If you don't have to box, why would you box? Like we box to make a better life for ourselves. He's done that. Why continue to push your body? Like you've been doing this for over 30 years now. Like making weight, training hard. There comes a time you just want to enjoy your life. And he's made a lot of money. Now he can enjoy his life with his family and friends and help other boxers to achieve their dreams and stuff. So yeah, like he's done what he's done. He seems happy. Yeah, I commend him on that because most boxers don't end up with a happy ending, and he seems to have one.
Yeah, of course. We have to wait and see. In your opinion, is Mayweather the best pound for pound fighter of all time?
Best pound for pound depends what you mean on that. He's made the most money. You know, he's had the pay-per-view views, like he has the record for the pay-per-view views, he has the record for gate receipts. So he is the best ever on certain things. Like the pound for pound, that's to each man himself. I don't even think like for pound, like mine ain't Ray Robinson or mine ain't like Ali. Like they're called the greatest, they're called the best ever. Like the best ever boxer, but I don't believe that they are. Like you're Ray Robinson. So, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a personal choice, like who you wish to go with. So yeah, I don't even go with the conventional that Ray Robinson is the best ever or that Ali is the best ever. So yeah, that's to each his own. You know, everyone has each their own. So, you know.
Who is your favourite then of all time?
My favorite boxer. Well, I don't really have a favorite. My top three would be Colonel Whitaker, Ray Jones, and Mike Tyson. That's it. That's my top three. But that's what I'm saying. Like Hardy, he called himself the greatest, and when he called himself that, people they went into uproar. But when Floyd calls him the best ever, Floyd has reasons behind saying that. You know what I'm saying? As Floyd has said, do you think? Look, when he lost to Leon Spinks, Floyd says, do you think that a man who's got 8 fights could come and beat me? No, I'm saying. So he wasn't the greatest. He might have been the greatest heavyweight, but he called himself the greatest, and he wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So Floyd, for whatever he's done, you know what I'm saying? Like he's and a lot of this is what a lot of the great boxers hate on him. I don't know if it's because he's made so much money and he's smart. He's a smart businessman as well. And a lot of them, Mike Tyson, Ray Leonard, you know what I'm saying? Like they were great fighters, but their career didn't finish off well. Floyd has. And a lot of them hate that because he's been smart enough, you know, to control his career. They didn't control their career, and you know, they boxed on longer than they should have. When Floyd, as I said, he knows when to call it time because you can't box forever. He's got loads of money in his bank. Why box on? He's achieved his goals. Like what's there to prove? Like he's 49-0. He's got he made 300 million in one fight. Never been done. That might never be done again. You know what I'm saying? Like he can call himself the best ever if he wants to call himself that because he's achieved stuff that no other boxer has.
Yeah, he definitely has earned his right to call himself that, to be honest. You can't argue with that. Moving on to other things, Danny Garcia has been very fortunate on the scorecards in quite a few of his fights. Now, of course, you fought him to a split decision. He's now moved up to 147. Is this a fight that you want to chase in the future at all? Would you like to get that rematch?
No, I don't do rematches, so I'm good. he's done well with himself. I've never tried to get no rematch with him.
Okay. There's a couple of fights going on in and around your weight class. I just wanted to get your take on those fights. Of course, Amir Khan fighting Canelo. How do you see that one going, Ashley?
Well, Canelo's got the power. He's a very good fighter. I think Amir could trouble him with his hand speed and his foot speed. It's just if he gets hit, I just don't know how he's gonna take the punching power of Canelo. But he might be able to trouble him. At the end of the day, like they all saw the way that Floyd beat him. You know, he's got a great trainer behind him. Got to keep his guard high. I just don't know if he has the ring smart. He has the attribute to trouble Canelo. I just don't know if he has the ring smarts. I'm a fan of Canelo, but I would like him to win, being British, and I do like him as a fighter because he's not scared to challenge himself. So I would like him to win, but it'll be hard for him. It'll be a hard win. Yeah, it's gonna be a hard win. But I would like him to win.
Yeah, of course. Also, a fight that we never got to see. Maybe it will happen later on in this year. We'll have to wait and see. Amir Khan and Brook, if they were to get in the ring, how do you see that one going?
That's an even fight. I think Kell's a very good fighter. I think both of them on their day could win. So I'm kind of split on that one. You know, Kell's got power, he's got speed, he's got skills, but Amir is more experienced at top level. So it could go either way. I'm not sure who would win. I know a lot of fans side with Kell because of the power. But experience is just as important as all of the attributes. So I'm not really sure who would win that fight. It'd be a close one. It'd be a good one.
And this I'm really dying to ask you. We may see it hopefully this year. I believe they're both fighting on April the 30th. They're both defending their world titles. Yeah. Are you going to go with your countryman, James DeGale, or are you going to go with your stablemate, Badu Jack, if those two guys get in the ring together?
I'm going to go with my friend, Badu Jack. You know, same thing I done when he fought George Groves. And after, James has done well. And, well, that's why they're on the same card, and I know that Badu wants that fight as well. So that could be going on in Vegas later on this year if they both were to win. And it'd be a good fight. It'd be a good fight. And James is a very good fighter, and Badu's a very good fighter as well. So it'd be good for them to both get on the unification fight. But, I have to back my friend, as I said, when he fought George as well. I back my friend I always have to back my friend.
Okay, fair point. The last two questions I've got for you now. Again, a fight that we were supposed to see, but I believe it's been put off. We're waiting to hear if it's going to get rescheduled. Sean Porter against Keith Thurman.
I like Sean. I've sparred with him. I know he's bad and Sean very well. And, a lot of folks are saying Keith, but I just like Sean. He's fought the better opposition, and he's just tough and he's in shape, and I think he could grind out a win. He's got a good chin as well, so I think he could grind out a win.
Okay, excellent stuff. Okay, the final question I've got for you now, Ashley. Of course, you're fighting Broner on the 1st of April. What's your prediction for the fight? What are we going to see from yourself and Adrien Broner on fight night?
Adrien, he's saying he's going to stop me in 4 rounds. So, if you like to bet or if you like to use money, you could take that bet. I'm sure the odds would be good on that because he's a big favorite to win to win. So I guess the only way to make money is on the KO with him. But Adrien, he's got skill, he's got speed. I don't know if he's got power. I don't really know about it. I don't think he has power at over like 140 because even Paulie was there without working him. And then he got the stoppage win in his last fight, but I haven't watched that fight, but I heard he shouldn't have got stopped. So he's got his attributes, he's got a low punch output, but he's got skills and he's got speed, he's young. But me, I got a good chin, I'm in great shape, and I believe I could beat him. To me, it's interesting because when I read things online, it's like I'm fighting Floyd. Like, Adrian's very beatable. I believe I can beat him now until I'm in the ring. I won't really know how good he really is. But I've been sparring with guys with that speed who are strong. I sparred with Floyd Mayweather, and obviously I done well with Floyd. That's why I got this world title shot now, because Floyd sparred me like over 5 times, and he believes I could beat this man. So yeah, I'm in great shape. I believe I could grind out a points win. And being real, like the form I'm in, I believe I'm gonna win. I don't see me losing. I just have to perform the way I've been training, and I will win. So I believe in myself. I've put in the work, and it's just to do it on fight night.
Absolutely, of course. Now, just before we let you go, I just want to say, this of course is my show. I like to stay mutual. I like to kind of sit on the fence, but there's no secret in me pulling for you in this fight. I really hope you can go out there and do the business, Ashley, and then hopefully next time we'll be talking to the new WBA champ, and you'll be bringing a belt back to UK to add to the many other champions right now at the moment.
For real, that would be great.
Been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Thank you for talking to us so close to your fight, and best of luck.
Thanks very much.
Okay, now it's time for part 2. This part, of course, the preview part where we preview the fights coming up this weekend. We're going to start over in the legendary York Hall in Bethnal Green, London, of course. Top of the bill, Gary Corcoran, 14-0. He's fighting Danny Butler, who has a record of 25-5 for the vacant WBO Intercontinental Super Welterweight title. Gary Corcoran obviously trying to move to 15-0 here. This should be a decent little fight. We've seen Gary Corcoran in some tough fights, and he always prevails, actually. So best of luck to both guys in that fight, and may the best man win. Tom Baker also on that bill. He faces Jack Morris. Tom Baker 12-0, Jack Morris 14-2 with the 1 draw. This as well is for a vacant title. This time it's the vacant English light heavyweight title. Also, one of my favourite prospects, actually. He needs to be moved a bit faster in my opinion, but I love seeing him fight. I love his flashy style. Romeo Romao, he's also on this bill. He looks to move to 10-0. He faces Michael Dufek, who has a record of 18 wins, 12 losses and 1 draw. Boy Jones Jr. is also on the bill. He gets out again in his 8th professional contest. A few other prospects on the bill as well. Zach Davies, Sammy McNess, Anthony Yard as well. Everybody's seen a few clips of him lately on Twitter. Anthony Yard looks absolutely sensational. I was actually speaking to some boxing fans back at the Amir Khan and Canelo press conference, and a lot of guys were talking about Anthony Yard and how much of a fantastic fighter he is looking at being. Moving over now from England, we're going to go straight over to California. Top of the bill, Antonio Orozco. He faces Miguel Acosta. Of course, Orozco 23-0. This is another fighter that we must pay close attention to. Moving down that bill, actually, the main reason why I wanted to talk about this bill, Jason Quigley, he gets out again. He looks to move to 10-0 over Dante Moore. Both guys have got 9 wins on their record. Of course, Dante Moore with the 1 loss and 2 draws. Jason Quigley, no blemishes on his record whatsoever. So best of luck to Jason in that fight. Moving over to Saturday now. Those fights were on Friday. We're going to move straight over to Saturday in Wembley Arena. Top of the bill for the British middleweight title, Nick Blackwell faces Chris Eubank Jr. Nick Blackwell, of course, 19 wins, 3 losses and 1 draw, and Chris Eubank Jr. 21-1. Rumour has it that Billy Joe Saunders will be there in the arena. I think he'll be commentating. Of course, he beat both men, so it'll be interesting hearing his take on the fight. I know that he wants Nick Blackwell to win for obvious reasons. happens. But this should be a really good fight, Ayaz, because a lot of people, they think that Chris Eubank Jr. is going to blaze through him. And a lot of people do think that. Let's have it right. A lot of people do think that. I think that Chris Eubank Jr. is going to win pretty comfortably. But a lot of guys who know their stuff about boxing, proper hardcore guys, are saying that this is no walk in the park for Chris Eubank Jr. What do you think, Ayaz?
I'll tell you one thing. Nick Blackwell was a very good fighter, but in my opinion, I'm going to go with a Chris Eubank Jr. win. But the thing is, what I still don't understand is he was mandatory to fight Daniel Jacobs' world title, but he decided to fight for the British belt and fight Nick Blackwell.
Yeah, he's a strange one. I mean, again, I don't think that Chris Eubank Jr. is scared to step up, but we have seen him in there with a lot of guys who are, who really he's on paper going to beat easily, and he has done. We've seen him look absolutely sensational against some of these Latvians and stuff like that, but we do really want to see him in those fights. But again, hopefully he just wins the British title if that's what his ambitions are. Hopefully he can do that, and then we can see him at that level, because I do want to see him at that level. But anyhow, he lost to Nick Blackwell. Really and truly, his stock will absolutely go shooting downwards. And I tell you what, I don't think we'll see him in those types of clashes. He managed to get himself in the mandatory position. I don't think we'll ever see that again if he loses to Nick Blackwell, but we'll have to see what happens. It's going to be a really interesting fight. Nick Blackwell takes no nonsense as well. He's totally not scared. He's a real warrior. He does a lot of hard sparring in the gym, and we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. It's going to be a really, really good fight. Moving down that bill, Hughie Fury, also on the card, of course. He was supposed to be fighting someone else. I've actually forgotten their name momentarily, but now Dominic Gwynn has jumped in and he has filled the vacant spot. So Hughie Fury, of course, 18-0 at the moment. Dominic Gwynn, 35-10. Now, Dominic Gwynn, actually a really good opponent here. This is, a lot of people were trying to disrespect him on social media. A lot of people not too sure who he is. Yes, admittedly, he's got 4 losses in his last 6 fights, but those 4 losses, admittedly, when you look closely, they are to Kubrat Pulev, to Amir Mansour, to Denis Boytsov, and to Thomas Adamek. Now, I'm not being funny. All those guys are absolutely, top-notch fighters. So there's no shame in losing to those guys. It goes to show that he's not scared to be thrown in the deep end. But he actually fought in 2015. He fought in February. The fight before that was the loss to Thomas Adamek in 2013. So he's actually only had 1 fight in about 2.5 years, where, of course, he beat a guy called Donnie Davis, who had a poor record, and he knocked him out in the first round. So he's a little bit ring rusty, I think. So Hughie Fury can hopefully capitalize on this and move to 19-0. And I mean, I really, really love the Furies. I've got close relationship with the Furies, of course. But listen to this. Hughie Fury, we really need to see him in some top fights. I know it's not his fault. Peter Fury always showing frustration about opponents not wanting to fight Hughie Fury. They like to give it all the talk, but when it comes down to signing on the dotted line, they are silent as anything. But 18-0 now, Hughie Fury. He's going to probably be 19-0 after this weekend. And Joshua, of course, who's just 15, just been involved in 15 fights. Joshua is now fighting for a world title. So unfortunately, people will start wanting to see Hughie stepping up straight away. I know that Joshua's jumped into this world title fight with Charles Martin pretty early, admittedly early. He'll say it himself. Eddie Hearn will say it himself. But we have to be honest here, and Hughie Fury's had a few more fights than Joshua now, but I know that there's an age gap, of course. Joshua being 26 and Hughie Fury still only a baby, still a real baby in the division. Of course, he's only 21 years old. So a really, really good test this will be for Hughie Fury. Again, he's also fighting in April, of course, on the undercard of Billy Joe Saunders, his first world title defense. So he's got 2 fights lined up, so we'll have to see what happens. But after these 2 fights, he should hopefully be 20-0 and really closing in on a world title scene, so best of luck to Hughie Fury, of course. Moving down that bill, of course, young Fury also jumped on the card. This is the brother of Tyson Fury. He's got a record of 6 wins and 1 very controversial loss. His opponent hasn't been announced yet. I'm not sure how many rounds the fight will be. It doesn't actually say that either. We're also going to see the return of Frank Buglioni. He's also on this bill, 17-2 his record at the moment. His opponent also has not been announced yet. Peter McDonough also on the bill. Ricky Boylan as well. I actually saw him jogging the other day down the road. I saw him doing a bit of road work when I was driving. I was like, I'm sure that's Ricky Boylan. Tweeted him on Twitter. Yes, it was Ricky Boylan. So I know he's been putting in some work. I've actually seen him doing it. So 13 wins and 3 losses on Ricky Boylan's record at the moment. He will be looking to extend that, but his opponent yet to be announced. We're now moving over to Sheffield. There's a lot going on in the UK this week. There really is. Kell Brook against Kevin Bizier. This is for Kell Brook's IBF World title, of course, in the welterweight division, if you didn't already know that. Kell Brook 35-0, Kevin Bizier 25-2. Ayaz, talk to me about this fight. I know that we want to see Kell Brook in there with some better opponents than Kevin Bizier. I know that you're frustrated with this fight, but of course it's a mandatory.
In my opinion, I reckon Kell Brook will knock out Kevin Bizier. This Brook's opponent, Bizier, we know him. We know a bit about him because he lost to Jojo Dan twice, right? Now the thing is, Brook now needs to have a big step up. He needs to fight after he cleared his mandatory and beat Bizier. He needs to fight either like a Miguel Cotto, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Jesse Vargas, the winner of Bradley Pacquiao, and hopefully a Triple G Golovkin or even Amir Khan in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Bizier is actually... I think people are being a little bit harsh on him. He is the mandatory. Fair enough. He's had most of his fights in Canada, but his record 25-2. Those 2 losses coming to Jojo Dan, who Kell Brook absolutely annihilated, to be totally honest. But styles make fights. Hopefully this will be a good one. Kell Brook also saying that he doesn't mind standing in the center of the ring and just trading off. So it'd be interesting to see that go on. I think that's not the best thing to do, of course. But Kell Brook also frustrated with a lot of stuff that's gone on outside of the ring, and it's very, very much slowed up his career progression. Moving down that bill, Luke Campbell, of course, he's training with Regondo's trainer now. He will be fighting Gary Sykes, and this is a really good fight. Luke Campbell 12-1, Gary Sykes 28-4. This is for the vacant Commonwealth lightweight title. Also down that bill, Jordan Gill gets out again. He's 15-0 at the moment, a prospect to look out for from the Ingle Gym. Lee Woods also on the bill. He faces Lee Glover for the vacant Midlands area featherweight title. And unfortunately, there was a tasty contest in the heavyweight division. It looks like it's not going to be happening now. David Allen, 8-0 with 1 draw, was going to be facing Richard Towers. It looks like Richard Towers is not going to be participating in this fight, so they'll be looking for a late replacement. It's a shame because I was actually really looking forward to that fight. Thought that was going to be one of those fights that just gets put on the bill, which is actually a really intriguing fight, and only the hardcores kind of watch that fight and get really into it. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like that one's going to be happening. We're now going to leave the UK. We're going to shoot straight over to the USA. We're going to go over to Oakland, California. Top of the bill, Andre Ward, 28-0, highly regarded and widely regarded as the pound-for-pound number 2 boxer in the world, of course, behind Floyd Mayweather. But if truth be told, Floyd Mayweather is currently retired. And, of course, we just spoke to Ashley Theophane, and it looks like he's not going to be coming back to the ring in Ashley Theophane's opinion. So that makes Andre Ward the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter. We've seen him beat up Tony Bellew in Creed as well recently. So 28-0, of course, Andre Ward. It'd be interesting to see him back in the ring. He faces unbeaten Sullivan Barrera, 17-0. Somebody's O has got to go. Everybody, of course, will be backing Andre Ward in this fight, but it'd be interesting to see him back in the ring. Also on that bill, Chief Support, Joseph Diaz, huge prospect, 19-0. He faces Jason Velez, who has a record of 23-1 with 1 draw. This should be a really good fight. This is for the NABF featherweight title, which Joseph Diaz holds. It's only a 10-rounder down at featherweight, but an absolute cracker of a fight that will be. Okay, and that's really it for the preview section on this week's show. We're now going to bring on our second guest. Okay, now it's time for guest number 2 on this week's show. Fighting on the Kell Brook undercard on Saturday, it's Adam Etches. Adam, welcome to the show.
How are you doing?
Very good, thanks. Of course, you're fighting on the undercard of Brook Bizier. You're fighting Zoltan Serra. What do you know about him, Adam?
I don't know much about him, to be honest. I know he's got a decent record. He hasn't really fought anyone of note, but he's only lost 1, same as what I have. So I it does pose a threat. I've just got to go in there and get the job done.
Absolutely. Now, of course, it's almost 1 year. Come fight night, it'll almost be 1 year to the day since last year, of course, the loss to Kamitsky. Also, it's your first fight back at the Sheffield Arena. Are you able to put those? Are you able to shut that out? How eager are you to put those demons behind you?
I'm looking forward to it. It'd be nice to get back to winning ways and do what I do best and win. I thought, there were a few things wrong last time. I'm not going to go into what and why, but this time, everything's right. My training's spot on. My diet's perfect. So I think that'll tell on Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, you don't really want to go in detail on what happened in 2015. I know there was a lot of stuff that occurred outside of the ring, but it says a lot about your character. You came back 4 months after and knocked out an undefeated fighter. So that says a lot about your character. Of course, since what happened, you've kind of been out of the spotlight for a little bit. Has that been good or bad for you without that added pressure on your shoulders, Adam?
It's been bad, to be honest. Boxing's It's a short career, a short window. So it's important if you're young and fit that you keep busy and get out as much as you can. But, due to injuries, losses, other problems outside the ring, my career was stalled a bit last year. So this year I'm hoping I can, really put things behind me and kick on.
For those that don't know, who are you training alongside sort of day in, day out at the moment, Adam?
I'm training at Ingle Gym in Sheffield. Brook trains there. Kid Galahad, Jordan Gill, Lee Wood, Kyle Yousaf. Some good young prospects coming through, as well as obviously me, Kel and Barry.
What's the vibe in the gym like at the moment? Obviously, Barry's ban been lifted. We had him on the show a couple of weeks back. It was just before it had happened. He warned us that there was going to be some news coming up soon. And then within about a week, of course, they lifted the ban. So what's the vibe back with Barry back on the scene now?
It's brilliant, In the gym, we're not just friends. We're more than that. We spend most of his lives together. So it's good news for us all. And like I say, it's good for Sheffield. But like I said, Barry being back ready to fight, that's what he does best. He will have missed it so much because he's been out even longer than what I have. Again, through no fault of his own. It's been a tough time for him and tough time for me, but I'm sure Barry will come through it just as I'm going to do.
Now, moving on to some other stuff in your division, on the same night, of course, you'll be aware that Nick Blackwell's facing Chris Eubank Jr. What's your thoughts on that fight, Adam? What do you think we're going to see in that fight?
To be honest, I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be entertaining. Whenever Nick Blackwell's involved, there's always a fight. You can guarantee that. But I just think Eubank will have a bit too much for him and be a bit too strong. But we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Will you yourself be staying at 160, or are you looking at moving up to 168 in the near future?
No, I'll definitely be staying at 160. I'll make the weight fairly comfortable. If a good opportunity come along, I might even be able to make 154. But for the time being, and way things are going, I reckon I'll be staying at 160. But if a good opportunity comes at 154, then, or even 167, I'm big enough and I'm strong enough. So it's all about getting your opportunities and taking them when they come.
Of course, there's a fight coming up. Kind of at 154, kind of between 154 and middleweight. Canelo and Khan, it kind of just came out of the blue. What's your thoughts on that fight, Adam?
It's a good fight, one that creates a lot of interest because they're both massive names. But I just think, I wish Khan all the best, and I hope he can pull off a win. He's British. Anyone who's British who don't want him to win, it's a bit sad, but I think he'll just be a bit too small and not strong enough. I think Canelo will be too big and strong, but hopefully I'm wrong in what I'm saying.
Of course, we didn't see it this year. It doesn't look like it's going to be happening this year. Hopefully next year we'll see it. Of course, your gym mate, should I say, Kel Brook and Amir Khan. If we do see that down the line, how do you see that fight going?
100% Kel, and I'm not just saying that because he's my gym mate or my friend. I train with him day in, day out, so I know what he does. I know the work what he puts in. I've sparred hundreds of rounds with him, so I know how strong he is and what he does good. And I just think I think Kell Brook's the best welterweight in the world, so I would fancy him beating anyone at welterweight.
Yeah, definitely. You can't really argue with that. Kid Galahad as well. He always praises Kel. Kel is a great fighter. Now, finally, before we let you go, the last thing I'll ask you for is your prediction for the fight. Finally, your prediction for your fight on Saturday night on the undercard of Kell Brook and Bizier.
My prediction is I'm going to win. How? I don't know. But as long as I win, I'm making improvements, little adjustments. I'll be happy. I just want to get in there, get the win, and move on to the next one. And, this year we'll hopefully secure some big fights.
Absolutely. Listen, I wish you the absolute best of luck for Saturday, and I really hope that this year can be much better than last year was for you. No doubt we'll speak again in the future.
Thanks. Cheers for your time.
Okay, now it's time to conclude episode 25 of the BoxHard Podcast. I've been your host, Joey Coastman. Ayaz Sumra has been Ayaz Sumra. A massive shout out to our two guests on this week's show, Adam Etches and Ashley Theophane, both in absolutely huge, meaningful fights. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing this show to you once again this week. A massive shout out to our loyal listeners. You really do make this show the best boxing podcast on the net, and we applaud you for that. Thank you for giving us your ears once again this week, and we'll be back next week with another buster of a show. Please keep retweeting, following, liking, favoriting, and much more. Until then, take care.